how poor we were now, because it's important that we recognise that, wow, we are leggy. We have ran out of steam, and it happened last year.
Running
and this
on
is
fumes.
a trend, my mate.
It
is. And we have to look about how we're going to combat this. I said this yesterday in the Kop TV. How are we going to do it? The only thing I can think is we need stronger rotation. I know Slot does not like to rotate, mate. He did it for Feyenoord. He kept his core 14 players and he played them to death. Unfortunately, in this league, he's going to have to adapt a little bit more, I think, because there's more games. And the level of the games that they're playing is so intense. You're asking Dom to run 15 kilometres a game. Like, it's a lot. And they're not just jogs, mate. There's sprints. These players are going to end up dying off. You're seeing players like Ryan and Dom and Diaz all tether off. And there's a reason for that, because it's not sustainable. We cannot keep up the intensity throughout the entire season. It's impossible. Yeah. It is. So, in this summer window, I'm honestly, we have to go gung-ho, lad. We have to buy and buy and buy.
Yeah, yesterday kind of highlighted a lot of areas that maybe have been patched over or glossed over because of how strong we've been in the league this season.
He doesn't have to start Jota and Diaz every game.
No, bro.
It's as simple as that.
We'll speak about that. But like Ross and Rachel in Friends, we need a break.
Yeah.
Bloody Not me
hell.
And you, but
yeah, no, actually I do, to be honest.
Yeah.
That was a horrible week.
Yeah.
That was bloody crap.
I spent the whole weekend with you.
Yeah.
We had a great weekend though, didn't it? Shout out to Jack for coming down. We had a top weekend, apart from the football that got in the way. But yeah, we need a break. And I think under Klopp, we were almost like an amazing cup team that always fell short in the league.
Yeah.
Under Slot, it seems like we're so consistent in the league. We've lost one game all season. We've lost one game to Plymouth, one game to PSG, and it's like our whole season has fallen apart because of 3 losses. So what I was going to say was yesterday, you know, after the 120 minutes against Paris, one would assume that you wouldn't play the exact same team, right? Because look how leggy they were, and look at the lads on the bench that came on and made... Like Harvey Elliott, easy to say in hindsight, but Harvey Elliott and Chiesa should have started that game yesterday.
This is what I'm saying,
so,
right?
It would never have happened in real life.
Jota, this is what I'm saying about Jota and Diaz, right? I like them. They're good footballers, but they can't play however 50 games a season. That's not who they are. The way Diaz plays is not sustainable, lad. He's erratic and full of energy, right? Which is great for the first half of the season when you can keep that up. But as you get tired, you're not going to be able to do all this mad jinking stuff because you just shattered. What we needed was Harvey Elliott to be trusted. People like Dom, I love him. He's been fantastic. But sometimes you could do with a break and bring someone like Harvey Elliott on. I think that's all we're missing, really. It's not fair, really, to say to Slot, rotate when you haven't been given any opportunity to buy any players for the system, so you don't know who to trust, and you've got these players that have done so well.
Crossing over.
Yeah, it's this summer window is huge. It's absolutely huge. We need to build for the future, because when I'm looking at other squads, Arsenal in particular, they're for the future. Look how young that squad is, full of talent, right? They're ready to go and take on another title. Liverpool, we're still in a transitional era. We're still getting rid of players from the last cycle, and we're going to have to bring players in the new, and we don't know if they're going to be successful. And we're very lucky at the moment that we're top of the league, so we're going to have to enjoy this, because I don't know what's going to happen next season if we don't buy properly, lad.
Yeah, and I totally agree with everything you said, and I think yesterday highlighted the fact that actually we need a bit of a major rebuild in the summer. We might now stumble across the line and win the Prem, which, forget everything else, the form, the way we win it. If we win it, that's what we've been trying to win, you know, with fans in the stadium for 30 odd years. So if we win it, amazing, all the players will get celebrated as they rightly should. But for me, it highlighted yesterday that we need a bit of a reshuffle in the attack. You know, I look at Diogo Jota, you know, at one point his name was being sung by the Anfield faithful yesterday, rightly so, because he's done some great things for Liverpool. But is there a question mark about him? Is he finished? Is he over the hill? Luis Diaz has fallen off massively. Cody Gakpo is obviously super young, but his energy has been depleted in the last few weeks. And actually, if Arne Slot started a weaker team last night and we lost, play your strongest midfield. Because we did our strongest team and we lost, you can't really say anything but that's just his style. Like you said, he doesn't really rest players. If we didn't rest as many players against PSV, we'd probably still be in the Champions League. We swapped 10 players out for Plymouth. We should still be able to beat them with those changes. So the only positive I can really take from yesterday was Chiesa. I thought he was our man of the match, mate. He was on for 15 minutes, if that.
He was good.
Scored a goal, you know, ran back to the halfway line, tackled someone, got the ball back, took it up the other end. And we were just super naive yesterday, and I think there was a bit of complacency. We thought we're going to win this. It's Liverpool, it's Anfield, it's Wembley. This is what we do. But from minute one, I knew we weren't going to win that final yesterday.
Too much intensity.
I thought if we can get to half time, knowing how good Newcastle are in first halves of games, let's get to half time 0-0, and then we do our second half thing. But there was just no rhythm. I can't really remember a period where there was like 8 passes from the back to the midfield to the wing. It comes in, the keeper saves it, we get a corner. Yeah. The only time that happened was when the subs came on. Curtis Jones had a shot that was straight at the keeper, but that was it, really. And the case of goal, that was it. We didn't threaten at all apart from that. And it comes back to, do we need a reshuffle? I look at Mo Salah, non-existent yesterday. Non-existent.
You've got to give him credit.
9 finals for Liverpool. He's scored 2 goals, and they were both penalties.
He scored 1, and it's a penalty, and that's fine, lad. He's done so much for us this season.
It's frustrating.
I am not going to criticise Mo Salah. Without a shadow of a doubt, he did not perform yesterday, but he's outperformed himself all season. And to be honest with you, lad, nobody performed very well yesterday. And also, he is participating in Ramadan right now, so I don't expect a fella that's not being able to drink for a little, or eat food or whatever for a long period of time to be at his peak physical performance, right? Because of the nature of what he's doing, and that's fine. But I do expect players like Jota and Diaz to step up in his place, so he doesn't have to do bloody everything.
Because that's, I actually feel sorry for him.
If you cut Salah off at the moment, what is he?
And how much did we miss Trent?
Massively. He was the one, lad. So yesterday, when you're looking at how we're going to wrap balls around to get to the back line, there was nobody there. Konsa played well. Let's not criticise him. He did actually. Konsa had a decent little game, but he definitely doesn't have the pass range of Trent. We all know that, right? And it was evident there. We couldn't create anything. Nothing was going through the middle. And if I'm totally honest with you, Anna Slot substitutes for the first time this season have been terrible. They were terrible for me yesterday. I just think, why?
Well, did he get the team selection right? I mean, obviously he's put
Kelleher in goal was a bit mad. I don't understand why he did that. Has he played all the games in the League Cup?
He's played a couple, but Alisson's obviously, which is quite weird because under Klopp it was always Kelleher for the FA Cup and League Cup. But if you've played Alisson in the semi-final, which I think he did, right? We played against Tottenham with Alisson in goal, didn't we?
I can't remember.
We beat them 4-0. I'm pretty sure Alisson was in goal. But for me, it's like, why would you change that at the last minute?
For me, the substitute was when he brought off Ibu, right? When you're trying to win a midfield battle, and now you've taken off your defender who's creating stability at the back. And I thought what he was going to do was bring Diaz off and bring Curtis Jones on to put 4 in midfield to try and win the ball back off them 3 lads because they were brilliant. And then just try and get some chances with the 2 at the top, but he didn't. He just went, you know what, all out attack, I'm going to bring on all the attackers and see what we can do. And we did press them for the last 10 minutes. Spurs. Yeah. So we did play... last 10 minutes we were at them, but that's to be expected.
Too little, too late.
And then even if we do get the 2-2, where do we go from there with that team? You can't really. It's not sustainable. Yeah,
we would have lost it in extra time.
It's one of them.
Until Kesa scored, I thought we could play here for another hour and we won't score.
It's one of them, lad.
And just every tackle they won, they was giving it.
It's not even necessarily. I said it yesterday again. It's not even necessarily like they look tired. It's the decision making as well. They look lethargic in their decision making. They're not making the right passes, or they don't seem to flick it on properly, or they're walking with the ball. It's just, I can't blame them because they've been exceptional all season, mate. We've lost like 4 or 5 games all season. Like, I'm not going to complain. I'm not. But it was disappointing to watch at the same time. It's as simple as that. I've just watched my team get knocked out by PSG and beat by Newcastle in the cup final. And now we truly have to go into these last 9 games in the Premier League ready to fight.
If we win the league, we can forget all of this, negative feeling.
But we've got to win the league.
You've got to make sure you win it now. And look, I still think we will. But are you worried at all by... Because when was I'm trying to think of... I mean, you were at the Paris game. I was at the home leg. You were at the away one. When was the last time we played? Maybe it was the Tottenham 4-0 where you go, what a performance that was.
The 2 performances this year are Bournemouth away, 2-0, and Man City away. They were our defining fixtures of 2025. Because I'm totally honest with you, and I know you agree with me, audience, right? 2025 for Liverpool has not been a great year, to be quite honest with you. Our performances have been subpar. Even quite honest, compared to the first half of the season where we were absolutely obliterating teams. And I don't mean just winning 4-0, I mean winning 2-0, but completely and utterly dominating the football. And it just hasn't been like that in 2025. And obviously that's going to happen when it comes to pressure moments. Things start to get nervy, players start to get tired, injuries kick in, all of this type of stuff. It's all to be expected. But I would say the 2 ones that have kept us afloat are Bournemouth away and Man City. And of course the wins in between.
But that's like January.
I know,
February.
But that's what you need, moments.